Get involved now. Be on the right side of history. Be on the side of good. Wear the white hat. This is your chance to be involved in human history.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker.
There's a fucking murder right down the hall. Oh, yeah?
We should not submit to dehumanization. I don't know about you, but I'm concerned with what's happening in this world. We're going to stand up and we're going to be human beings. We're going to get fired up about the real things, the things that matter. Creativity and the dynamic human spirit that refuses to submit. Well, that's it. That's all I got to say. It's in your court.
The massive national transformation towards energy independence that America finally achieved in 2020, which would have shifted America First exceptionalism into overdrive, is being dismantled.
Well, I was introduced as the former governor of Michigan, but actually, I'm a scientist. You've got solar and wind opportunity all across the nation. In fact, if you look just at the upper northern states in the West, they could do geothermal, or you could look at Texas and say we could lead the nation in the solutions to smart grid. In the middle eastern states, which have access to forests and to agricultural waste, they might say we're going to lead the nation in biofuels.
At the Department of Energy, we have the solutions to tackle our climate emergency.
This morning, the cyber attack on the nation's largest fuel pipeline now leading to gas shortages as multiple states face dwindling supply.
So you still don't have the technical information you need to be able to be responsive and to provide support to critical infrastructure. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but that is not surprising given that it's, they've only been working on the incident response since over the weekend, and it's fairly early. We have had historically good relationship with both Colonial as well as the cybersecurity firms that are working on their behalf.
Up until 2020, the United States had imported more petroleum than it had exported.
I've been in 2 gas lines already.
This morning?
This morning.
How long did you wait for the first one?
I've been in both lines over an hour, and I'm out of gas. Dead out.
Baby boomers and older generations remember the double whammy oil crisis of 1973 and 1979. It was a wake-up call that America's dependence on foreign oil meant our national security wasn't all it was cracked up to be, and that the bounty of American oil had to be tapped.
America is now the world's largest oil and gas producer, which was unimaginable just a few short years ago.
Now the power is being turned off under the installed and illegitimate New World Order stooge Joe Biden.
I'm announcing my plan for a clean energy revolution.
As the AAA said prices were heading towards their highest level since 2014, and emergencies are declared in at least 18 states. But this time it isn't Saudi Arabia quadrupling the price of a barrel of oil due to support over the Yom Kippur War. This time it's a combination of intentional, horrible leadership.
Biden's decision to revoke a permit for Keystone XL will certainly be a topic of discussion. It marks the end of a saga spanning more than 12 years over the pipeline meant to carry Canadian crude to the United States.
Cyber attacks.
Russian cyber hackers are going to ruin our gasoline, our transportation, and our electricity grid. This is a terrible position for Biden to be in. And so far, he and his folks have said nothing.
Even with the turning on of the pipeline system, they still may feel a supply crunch.
And the United Nations Agenda 2030 with a motive bigger than Dallas.
It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world.
And you think that American public is going to say, we don't want the drilling offshore anymore.
if Americans say that, you are going to be accepting $6 to $8 per gallon at the gas pump as an alternate in the near future.
And this is the move to nationalize the oil companies that we're now going to see from this. And the head of the Department of Transportation 2 months ago saying we are officially anti-car and we're going to make you use buses and trains. So this is their dream.
In the year 2015, the world agreed on the ambitious, inclusive, and universal sustainable development goals, making a commitment to leave no one behind.
It is so decided.
As prices continue to skyrocket, the summer of 2021 is shaping up to potentially be a food, energy, and riotous hell on earth. John Bound reporting.
Your brain, your heart, your bones, your liver, your eyes, everything.
Chris?
What side? Welcome to Decide What Side. Incredible video right there by the man, the legend, John Bound. Shout out to him. Everybody, go just check out John Bound's channel on YouTube. They're pretty good. They're very good. I mean, you just saw that.
Check it out on Band.video. Don't check it out on YouTube. Screw YouTube.
Band.video is exploding, man. And John Bound follows me on Twitter, so that's pretty cool.
Boom. I got Jamie White. And Patrick Howley. What?
Yeah. You got some big names too. I also got Joe Rogan. Nah.
What?
Nah.
I don't think he even runs his own Twitter.
Nah, me neither. I think yeah, dude, I mean, it's weird. Cause some people in Twitter, I feel like I noticed I got into some community and like I get followed by people that are like followed by big people, but I myself am not. Which I'm not trying to get attention. I'm trying to like survive the Civil War, right? Yeah, I don't need to go
right.
Me, but at the same time, I do want to talk about these issues because they're literally. I mean, I kind of want to say Armageddon is rolling out in front of your eyes, but Armageddon is not. Armageddon is the final war. It's not like. It doesn't mean a crisis or a danger. But yes, the gasoline is running out, folks. And you know, we did talk about this. I mean, Biden told y'all in the debate. Biden said, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of gasoline. Remember when Trump was like, oh, that's a big statement. That's a big statement right there. And he was like, yeah, that is a big statement. He was trying to like back his shit. I bet.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna cuss, but this is a very extreme situation here.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Well, we know that it's all orchestrated. Because, okay, here's a little class for everybody. Failsafe 101. You have manual turnoffs. Lesson over. You have manual shut-off and turn-ons, dude. Like, that's the biggest thing that, like, I always thought from the game, like, wait, couldn't they just send some guys out there to turn it on? Like, or are we just completely dependent on computers? You know, so, for one, that's a bullshit lie. That's a BS lie. For two, that the oil is shut off because of the hack. Because there's a way to turn everything on manually. That's the thing. And then it's like, and then you find out the hack didn't even target the actual systems, the actual pressure regulators and everything. It only targeted the billing side of things. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you believe that pipeline was taken down by hackers, then you need to stop what you're doing and go get your GED. Because obviously, you know, you need to start applying yourself in life here. I mean,
that
people.
It probably
media. I mean, don't believe the mainstream media. Biden said he was gonna go after gasoline, and then he killed the Keystone Pipeline, and then Texas got hit by that geoengineered storm that just materialized out of nowhere, never before seen historical event, and now this, and now Whitmer. Go ahead, let me pull the Whitmer link up.
Yeah, Whitmer. So Whitmer, she shut down her pipeline, the one going from Canada to several of the eastern states, which violates a treaty. So she should be arrested right then and there for sedition, but she doesn't care. And so she just said she cut it off because she's scared that it will leak later. That's it.
Sense.
So a pipeline that hasn't leaked for 60-something years, it's been in operation. She's afraid.
So
and it just happens to be right now. You would think that, like, oh, hey, there's a gas crisis. We need to make sure our pipeline is working at 100% for the American people.
You know what they're gonna do, right? They're gonna blame the coming shortages and crisis on gasoline and fossil fuels being unreliable, which doesn't even make sense because they're the ones turning it off. Like literally, they're saying,
dude,
hey, we're gonna turn this off. We're gonna turn this pipeline off, and then when the gasoline runs out, they'll be like, see, you guys are too dependent on gasoline.
Yeah.
No, bitch, because you fucking turned the pipeline off. I'm sorry, guys.
You're good.
Edit that out. We'll
Yeah.
edit that out.
Yeah.
But
So people are weird. They think, oh yeah, the pipeline, it shut down, so that's the only pipeline. It's just like, what? No. It sucks, dude. We have like in my area of the country, we have one pipeline. It's fucking crazy.
Wait, what?
We have one. Yeah, it's like you guys, like, okay, here's like Texas is here, and here's like Canada. You'll see up there and see from all kinds of places in the United States, see like a web going out to like the East Coast and Texas and everything. And then over here in the Northwest, we have one pipe going up. And it comes actually right by where I live, actually. You drive on a freeway towards one of the towns here, and you'll see like through the mountains, you'll see like a row of trees cut out. Right? Yeah. You'll just see like a line cut out of the trees just going up and down hills, rolling across the valley, and that's the pipeline.
So that's pretty interesting. I'm not even sure what's going on here, but hey, do you guys have a Canadian beer up there? Because I feel like
I don't know, maybe
it was like Canadian beer. It was kind of weird.
Well, I don't know if it's Canadian, but I mean, there's lots of beers around here. It's freaking it's Portland, so
yeah, Portland, a lot of those
bunch of right. But it's like, so the Antifa can go get their microbrews between burning buildings down,
Yeah, that sounds like Antifa. I think it's all BS. I think a lot of them just taste the same, but I mean, I guess if it's healthier, but
well, okay. If you can ever go get a growler, which is like a big bottle, and it's like tap beer, and it's not microbrewed. It's just it's not chemical swill.
Right.
It's not chemical swill like Budweiser. But if you ever go get one of those, go get amber ale. It's so fucking good and it's strong. So you kind of just sit there and sip, and you're like, I start feeling pretty good. And like you'll be only like a little ways down. You're like, damn, this stuff's good. Yeah. And like, dude, I make a night out of a bottle of amber ale before I stop drinking. Anyway.
What's the example of that? A brand or
I don't know. It's a type of, it's just amber ale. Find an amber ale that's really good. That, like, talk to the people there when you go to one of those places. They know. They tried all their own beer.
Yeah. So
anyway, we'll get back to real shit.
Yeah. So Whitmer shutting down the gas line on purpose. Why? Because hackers might take it down. No, that's not a joke. In fact, I was actually gonna play this as our dumbest of the day, but I didn't. So just imagine what we have in store for y'all there.
A dumbass kind of entails that they don't know what they're doing.
Well, I guess me, like my family, or maybe my people over here, we use dumbass as like a retard. Shit, my bad. I didn't want to.
That's great. That's funny. No, I get what you're saying. But I'm just trying to make a comment about Whitmer. Like, no, she knows what she's doing.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
dude, like this is like this lady, like you look at her and she looks like some Cruella de Vil supervillain. Like these people, like you don't. It's like I could at least accept like some handsome man or some beautiful woman standing there who's like you're awestruck of their gorgeousness. I could see them being like rulers of the world and taking everything over, but it's like we have these ugly little goblins running around and these freaking horse face horror films walking around ruling over everybody. It's like Kamala Harris. You see? Oh, did you see Kamala Harris date Montel Williams? Dude, she looked worse then than she does now.
Breaking news: Kamala used to date Montel Williams. Man, if we had a siren,
she looks horrible in the video with him. Like she looks horrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So anyway, these people, it's all a big club, and you're not in it. So that's the point of that.
Wow, I can't believe that. And guys, we're looking up the video as we speak.
Yep. Whatever. But anyway, so amongst all this, so they're gonna shut down all the pipelines, I'm sure, because Russia hackers. Oh, something else. If anybody didn't know, the company within hours, I believe, Colonial paid the hackers.
Right, $5 million.
So apparently, shouldn't they have gotten all their shit back? Shouldn't they have gotten all their access back? $5 million later?
And then like they said it happened with crypto, and my friend's mom, shout out to Mike, she brought up a good point. Well, he told me about it. Well, he gave credit to his mom, whatever. Maybe he came up with it.
Anyway,
that they're doing this to demonize crypto and paint it as a shady thing. And now I'm not saying go out and buy crypto and sell half your house for Ethereum or XPR.
But I will say I spent. Okay, I didn't spend it. I got it off of Brave browser through ads. I got that it pushed to me. I got a little bit of crypto. After about a year, I turned that into $20, right?
Nice.
So then I put it into Uphold with it, which is a crypto wallet, and then I sold it when it went up high, and I had $80.
Out of nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
What browser?
I saved it. Brave browser.
Right now.
Dude, it takes a long time. I've been doing it for like a couple months, 3 months, 4 months now, and like I've got $3. So you get 5 ads a day. You get 5 ads. You get an ad every 5 seconds, and that's like how you get paid the most. And then you can get crypto. You can trade these Brave reward tokens off of Uphold. You can trade it for Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and all that. So I bought something. I bought something because I was willing to watch ads. I was willing, not even watch. It's not even watch. It's like it pops up in the bottom corner here. And if you want to look at it, it's just some text in a black box. If you want to look at it, you click it. If you don't, you still get credit for it. So you get like a little bit of crypto every time you do that. And then like every 5 seconds, but every 5 seconds on my browser, I have an ad down the corner popping up. So as long as you can ignore that.
On Brave? 3 times faster than Chrome?
I don't know how true that is. But Brave you can block, you can ad block.
And how does it
you can do all that stuff.
How does the money show up? Do I have to put
the ads that the people pay for to put on Brave, you get a small piece of that.
Okay, so
in their tokens.
Do I have to make an account before I can get money?
It's a little involved. You may want to do it when you have like all your wits about you and you've gotten a good night's sleep to make sure you get it right. Because you have to like secure it. I have one browser that I had $30 in, dude, and the phone uninstalled. I uninstalled the browser somehow,
dude.
And it's gone, just fucking gone. And that's what you gotta accept. Like if you don't keep all your keys and everything, your money's gonna be gone. So anyway, but with cryptocurrency, So what I just explained right there to Chris, so we can just tie this back in, so we weren't just bullshitting. But so it's not like it's like you can exchange it. I can exchange it for legitimate things. You can exchange it for illegitimate things, just like cash. I was talking about this with my wife. I was like, oh, it would be horrible if someone used cryptocurrency to do something evil. I mean, what else would they use? Cold hard cash? It's not like anybody's ever done that before.
Yeah, leave the
It's
cat
like
behind the tree and the.
never in writing, always in cash. The good rule. That's a good rule for doing anything illegitimate. Never in writing, always in cash.
This wicked witch. This lady was already enforcing tyrannical lockdowns and telling people you can't stay in your house and arresting people for staying up against her when she was caught going to Florida on vacation.
And she just left, and that Botox grin never left her fucking face either.
Yeah, she looks like Jay Leno. Jay Leno, supervillain. Well, anyway, she said she was saying out of nowhere, she just pulled it out of her ass. She said it interferes with Michigan's solemn duty to protect the Great Lakes under the public trust doctrine. So out of nowhere, she just says, "Oh, actually, this hurts the environment, and we have a duty as Michiganders." So I mean, okay. So what about the gasoline, lady? I mean, we still gotta go to work.
Oh, can I say? I want to say something about the environmental impact. This goes along with that Native American. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in Nebraska or something. The Native Americans who were like freaking out about the oil, the pipeline, and then they ended up leaving garbage everywhere. But whatever,
Yes, they just.
But anyway,
fighting the system and like.
Anyway, people are like, people are stupid. They think, oh, you're just gonna dig a hole and drop a pipe in there and that's it. It's like, no, you have to dig it a certain way in a certain area to where it's not gonna have earthquakes, water's not gonna screw with it, and it's all nice and smooth. And then underneath the pipelines, there's this stuff. It looks like a big hard packed piece of cotton, and it's in a sheet. The stuff's like this thick or more, like several feet thick. And they lay it down on the bottom of the holes before they put the pipes down. There's more of this stuff than there is pipe. And then when they go to bury it, they fold it together and fuse it together with heat or something. I can't remember, maybe an adhesive. And then they have a plastic shell that's already in the ground that they also close up around it. And then they bury it. And then they're constantly checking it and always making sure nobody's ever going to hit it or nothing's ever going to go wrong. If it starts a leak, there's alarms going off for days. It shuts off that part of the pipeline till they can get it fixed. So it's pretty much foolproof. That big, thick piece of cotton thing I was talking about, that absorbs, I can't remember what the ratio is. It's like they absorb like 2,000-3,000 times their size. It's insane. It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff. Diapers have inside of them.
Guys,
so they just swell up to huge sizes.
Yeah, we got the technology to make this.
This has been a thing since the 60s. That's what you have to do.
So these guys know people are very ignorant on average. The general public is very stupid. All they like to do is talk about Netflix and
their WAP.
Chips Ahoy versus Oreos. Like, and I mean, I like Oreos too, and I like movies, right? The good ones. But the point is, nobody likes to know what's going on anymore. People like to know how things work, and I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out the reality we live in. And the politicians know they can go out there and say, "Oh, oil is dirty," and most people don't have enough info to even debate either side of the subject.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and so using that to segue into something else, saying oil is dirty. I mean, it still has to do with this, and so we don't have to change or anything. But Elon Musk, anyone didn't hear? Elon Musk Tesla's not accepting Bitcoin for Teslas anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Why would he do that? I thought it was to push Dogecoin, but then he said it's environmentally hazardous because you have to use a lot of fossil fuel to have crypto work. And it's like,
What? I
well,
don't believe that.
it's like, well, first
I
off,
don't believe it
first
either.
off, dude, like the places that they have power, that they have those things, are usually places that have way more power than they need, right? So it's not like they're taking anything extra, but it's like, okay, so now it's like, oh, it's bad for the environment. Crypto's bad for the environment. So now everything but government issued currency is going to be bad for the environment.
Well, like we've been saying, guys, there's a push for a global digital currency. There's a push for a universal digital currency. That's one of the main things they wanted to get through with this coronavirus was eliminate cash. And you see how all the trendy stores, all the high-end places, no cash accepted. And there's all this BS about, oh, no contact, no human contact.
I
And
know
like we've
people
been
think
saying,
like
the
not
global,
handling change.
yeah,
People think not handling change is going to like help them not get infected by a
man. And
virus,
that's
the
why
99.99% survival rate.
that's why I go to the strip club with a bunch of ones now. Nah, I'm just playing.
Whoa.
That's a joke. No,
I throw quarters at them.
I just fight the globalist system. I'm just doing to fight the digital currency.
No,
system.
dude.
I'm
No,
not really
dude.
there for anything else.
You're I'm more old school, dude. I take silver dollars to the strip club.
Right. Yeah, have an ounce of gold here.
Ping! Ow! You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, and we've been saying what else goes along with this? The vaccinations and eliminating cash, tying everything to a digital currency. That's the end of privacy right there. Every transaction, if you don't want to participate in the system, then you're gonna have to barter, and barter will
Right.
become a normal everyday thing. Remember that.
Right.
Save this clip. May 13, 2021, 11:26 p.m. Barter will become the norm in the future. Because
Right.
okay, and another thing, real quick. They want to replace everybody. They want to replace cash, they want to limit human contact. And they want to replace everybody with robotics and automation, AI. So get ready for the future where they don't need you and they're gonna wipe you out with anthrax or Ebola.
All right. We're to the point now where it's like the people who think like they're just going to do normal things and everything's going to be the same and all this is just a cycle and you're going to get through a cycle and you're going to be caught. It's like those people are going to get hit the hardest, and I feel sorry for them. Like, they're just so naive. They're like little children, dude. Like, everything's fine. I've gotten through worse. We're resilient. We're American. Like, don't you realize this is a plan to destroy you?
Really
the plan to destroy the country?
When people say we're in this together, I hate that shit. I mean,
like, no, we're not, motherfucker. Are you making a show 3 or 4 times a week? 4 or 5 times? Like, are you? Cool, then we're not in this together.
People don't even know. They just want to take the easy option. They just want to take what sounds good. They want to go with the flow. Right. They don't want to think too much out of resistance.
Michael Malice talked about this in Russia. They had a mentality during the Soviet Union, and they still kind of do. It's like, if suffering's happening, as long as we're all suffering, it's okay. So I think that's a lot of people's mindset. As long as we're all suffering, it's fine.
And what was I gonna say? They've done studies, from what I understand, I was reading, in multiple countries across multiple groups, demographics, and all this, age, ethnicity, whatever, race. And as long as you keep 4 things the same, most people, like, the normalcy bias is there, and like the society can be crashing around them and things can be going to hell, but people will still have that normalcy bias.
Right. Well, you got to realize, as soon as people let go of like the normalcy and everything's fine, what then? They either have to admit they're cowards or do something about it. And people really don't want to do either one.
Guys, let me remind you real quick. Subscribe to the Side with Sides channels on the alternative platforms we're trying to grow. Stick it to the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gab
I mean, it
locals.
doesn't help that Canada, the UK, and the United States all have
Right.
legislation in right now to regulate the internet more, to regulate hate speech, harmful speech on the internet, or anything that might be harmful.
And guys,
So
people are already not allowed to fly on airplanes. The social credit score system is taking place as we speak. I would say maybe it's not full power yet, but it's,
yeah.
you see how they don't let Nick Fuentes fly, which I don't whatever you say about his views. Now, if you said the wrong thing, they're not flying from Houston to Atlanta.
Right. And like Nick Fuentes didn't do anything.
And that's not the only one. I mean, now if somebody's baby is autistic,
Hold on one second. Go ahead.
The mask falls below the nose. They get kicked out and they're told, "You racist, white supremacist. You're never allowed to fly Delta ever again." And this is all about teaching you to comply. Don't resist. Think twice before you speak. They're taking over. This is how Marxist communists take over. I mean, this happened in Russia, and everybody was afraid to get arrested, so they all went along with it. And then later, everybody was in the concentration camps, in the forced labor camps, regretting it and like crying and complaining, "Man, we should have done something," when it was 100 of us and one of them. So you guys better decide what side you're on, because it's going to come down to that. I mean, eventually you're going to have to make that choice. Are you going to take that vaccine if you want to have access to the grocery store? Are you preparing for that future? Because that's coming. I mean, the future's coming where you're going to have to barter unless you want to take the vaccine to be part of the system. And use their global currency and get the chip. And I'm not saying that chip they're offering now is American, but it's just it's the precedent, and it's not good for you either way. Yeah, I was just telling them, gotta decide what side.
Right.
But now that you're here,
Right.
let me show you this video on the chicken shortage. Guys, we're running out of stuff. This is the norm. This happens not just in America. It happens in every communist country. When they're starting to take over, things start running out. And it's all about getting you ready to having less.
I can't hear it. No sound, dude. No sound.
No sound the whole time?
No sound.
The whole time there has been no sound?
Yep.
Oh, dang. It took a long time to get to you. Let me see. My bad, people. Okay, cover for me. Let me work some magic here.
Yeah, so I mean doesn't everybody remember all the chickens they were burying? All the cows they had to kill? All the produce. Like last year we had over 1 billion pounds of meat sitting in warehouses across the country that couldn't move. All that's bad now. So we can't just think, "Oh, it's fine," because we always have food. Or then I hear people say like, "Oh, well, I'll go get a couple chickens." It's just like, you don't realize there's not going to be chickens left. And you realize the chicken feed's not going to be here either.
And then how are you going to trade if the dollar crashes? Because, what are you going to use?
Hey everybody, Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. We're really glad to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to ask you to do something right now. Hit that subscription tab. Why? Because we're trying to increase our numbers so we can be a powerful force for good in preserving our constitution, your constitutional freedoms, and you're willing to stand up for other people. Well, we are brought to you by something very timely for the topic we're going to be talking about.
He's getting into an ad.
All the chickens.
No, he's not.
Where have the chickens gone? Where could they be? Well, we're brought to you by preparewithdave.com. Inflation unavailability kicks in. With Dave. Sustained a lot of us in pseudo eating out, pseudo recreation, family entertainment time. Well, what sustained us was takeout orders. Thank you to the restaurants for going the extra mile. One, for your courage and standing up for your small business.
Dude, when does this video
And
start?
two, taking
Come on,
care of the
Dave.
public.
Letting me down here.
Chicken wings, chicken fingers, chicken of all types were mainstay orders. They had great deals. They were in plenty supply. Now you can't find them. And you're saying, Dave, what are you talking about? Chickens are in short supply. It's like a switch got flipped, and all of a sudden we went from takeout abundance to where can we find them? I've read a lot of interviews with people like the owners of various chicken wing companies, various restaurants like Buffalo Wings.
Chicken wings are so
and they all are saying the same thing. We went from 0 to 60 in shortage like that. Don't know what's accounting for it. They're a little confused. Some people talked about so slow supply from distribution to final market. And they're saying they know that's part of it. What's causing it? Biden says shortage of truck drivers. Partially true. 15% truck drivers compared to a year ago are not in business. Partially true. That doesn't account for the overall shortage. And what did we cover last week? Remember? Amazon out of canned beef, canned food. Remember that? We covered that as well too. This is happening more and more and more. There's a clear and distinct pattern that we told you about was coming. We identified this pattern 3 months ago. We said, ladies and gentlemen, you are really in for a rude awakening if you don't begin to store food. And then on top of that, we talked about food inflation. And the killer of availability of food will be inflation. Inflation of the dollar, hyperinflation, inflation of food supply itself, hyper food inflation. That I don't know which will come first or if they'll come together. I have no idea. But what I do know is this, is that the dollar can't have 22 trillion more dollars put into the economy, and you're not going to see a blowback with hyperinflation, even if it's short-lived. And during that time, you get Venezuela type conditions. Food doesn't move. Food is in short supply. That food may be somewhere, but it's not getting to your plate. That's why you need to take defensive action. And this is why you need to act now, because when the inflation monster hits, your preparation for that product where the inflation is occurring is over. And if it's food, some of us could have a really big problem. That's it for the Common Sense Show. Check out thecommonsenseshow.tv.
Okay.
Oh, we've got
well,
some
you guys
great
get the
interviews.
point. Very critical information here. We're running out of food, and this is not. Look, I'm not up here trying to scare you into subscribing, but do subscribe. But like, this is really happening. The food is running out. The gas shortages are hitting us. This is all part of the plan. This is not an accident. Don't believe the story about the hackers. See, they want you to look at everything as one thing individually. They don't want you to think big picture. They don't want you to see, their big push for the carbon taxes and this earth worship paganism where the environment is like God or the goddess, and we're bad because we're destroying it, and we're a virus, so we've got to be destroyed too. But it's okay because you're just gonna reincarnate to something else. So we're just doing our cosmic duty. I mean, these people are trying to open up the dimensions to they think bring down, or they think they're trying to open up the fallen angels and
Right.
CERN, and they've got Shiva, the goddess of destruction, there. So, I mean, I'm not trying to go 0 to 100 here, but the reality is much more complicated than you think. It's not all about Netflix and Budweiser. But yeah, the chicken is running out. Better get ready. Better get ready for sure.
Right.
Yeah, let me see. A lot of stuff has been happening. Oh yeah, we could do the dumbass of the day. Man, I can't believe they banned her last channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we're doing our job if they don't.
That's true. We actually would have got banned earlier, but we stopped streaming there because we still wanted to keep it live, but it's all right. We'll climb back.
Right. Anybody trying to start YouTube right now, it's not good. Like, don't do it. Don't start YouTube now.
Yeah,
Start Rumble. Start a Rumble, start a Rockfin, start a local, start a BitChute, do all that. Do all alternative media. You know? And people are just gonna have to get savvy. You know, everybody got used to YouTube and Facebook and all that. Now they're gonna have to get savvy.
Yeah, so this is all part of the Great Reset. Like we've been saying. I mean, we showed y'all a while back. We streamed what's it called? The 500, the stones, the tall stones, Stonehenge.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Stonehenge?
The George Christ stones. Look it up. They've got these like big tablets of stone that were expensive. Somebody paid for. And it has on there the number one commandment of these people.
Right.
Maintain Earth under a population of 500 million. Or at 500.
Right. Everybody wants to ignore it like it doesn't mean anything, but it's like, I don't know about you, but I don't drop a giant, like, thousands and thousands of dollars slab of marble on the ground for no reason. I don't know about you, dude, but I wouldn't spend that kind of money and drop that kind of thing in the ground without a really good reason. You know? And they had to put them in, and the way they had to put them in was, like, perfect. The exact way they wanted them. So it cost them a lot of money to even put them in.
Or something.
And they didn't even spend all the money they wanted. They didn't even spend all the money they wanted. They wanted a giant pyramid capstone on top of it. So, you know, no big deal.
And like the point is, I'm not saying all these people have each other's numbers and they all text each other to agree on something, but they are all scattered out throughout America and Western Europe. I guess the whole world. There's these elite families that are just after generations of, you know, perversions. They just become very. I mean, Biden's out here grabbing everybody's ass that he can, and. Speaking of which, and yeah, look up Klaus Schwab. He was just talking about how he wants everybody to get a chip so they can track you and if you've had your shots. I mean, do people understand where this is going? They're not just saying that. They're planning to do this. But then, like, people wonder, why do we have to wear masks? Because you stood down the last 5 years. Go ahead.
I was just saying, Klaus Schwab didn't say that just recently. He said it like 4 or 5 years ago. So... You know, it's not like he just came up with this. It's like this has been a plan from the beginning. You know, it's like they're already talking about it. There's 60-minute interview. There's 60-minute stories about how there's a glass like tattoo, like with a little sensor, and you put it on your skin. And it burrows underneath your skin, and then it can tell us, you can have sensors to tell us whether you're unhealthy or not. And this could have this could have prevented the ship that had been out to sea for the last few months, since like, what was it, like September of the November, before the November or the January this crap started. They'd been out to sea for like 2-3 months. And then they came back near the shore and they all contracted coronavirus. They all contracted COVID. How does that work? When you haven't had contact, the naval ship that got all infected, and they never went to shore, and they hadn't been on the shore for a couple months. So it's just like, wait, how did that work? How does that happen? So
And then the
and
whole
they were using it as, say, if they had this chip implanted in their skin, we wouldn't have to worry about it.
I hate how like they're doing this thing where they're like, the British government. Oh, my bad, that was bad. But the British government is saying, oh, now you can hug your family after like what, more than a
Right.
year. I mean, seriously, people,
You
are
can
you
meet on a park bench
seriously?
for coffee with one other person as long as you both have masks on.
Yeah, you're not allowed to walk with coffee and drink it because they count that as a picnic. I mean,
Right.
do you
You
not
know,
see where this
so
is going?
yeah.
Where we're
No,
just gonna bend
people
over?
are everyone. I always heard everyone from every part of the world like, oh, our law enforcement wouldn't do something like that. Look what happened.
Look at
You know?
Canada. You Canadians that are laughing, uh, being like scoffers, trying to act like, man, it's just like these annoying Canadian leftists. They're leftists. Okay, I want to
Yeah.
make that clear.
Yeah.
And they're like making all these jokes about America being like a dictatorship when like China literally runs that country, and China lands all their soldiers there and practice military drills, and
Right.
they Trudeau's owned by the Chinese.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, they're taking over for sure. I have a dumbass of the day here, and then
All
we can
right.
wrap it up.
You dumbass.
Guys, check out this video. This man is the president of the United States who
That
supposedly
looks like that's a flattering still shot. Wow.
what?
That's a flattering still shot.
Yeah, this dude looks like the definition of death. He looks so nasty and like beat up. I don't know. His just skin is awkward. He talks super slow. Um, he just forgets things. He forgets where he is. Every day, every time he comes out in public, he's messing up. This is not like me exaggerating it. It's literally every day. In fact, we had to take a break because there was just so much Biden. Biden does some new dumbass shit. My bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Infrastructure, sir, and in particular. You guys are bad. I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions. I'm supposed to leave, but I can't resist your questions. I came away encouraged, but I want to make it clear to you. I'm encouraged not just because of a solid meeting with the Republican leader in the House and with Mitch or Senator McConnell, who I've known a long, long time and work with.
Okay,
You've known these people for so long, you forgot their names.
Yeah, number one, he doesn't know the guy's name who Juice met with, and this is like, who was it? I think it was the secretary. It was like a high up name. It wasn't like a loser or anything.
Right.
Let me see here. Yeah, this dude is totally out of it, and people think he's the most popular president of all time when they didn't lose votes. Wake up, Chinese! The Chinese put this dude in power. So, hey, but maybe Hunter Biden, with all his experience in gas and technology, or gas and
right,
all this stuff will fix the problem, like Trump said. Maybe
dude, that'd be a funny question to ask him. Like, so Hunter, with your son's experience in in the energy industry, what's his suggestion?
He's probably like, my suggestion: get more hookers,
more crack, more hookers. That'll fix it.
Yeah,
dude, I can't imagine what he's doing in his mansion, dude. They just
probably
bought
like satanic ritual.
right.
Those guys are hardcore multi-generational Satanists, man. I mean, the daughter has a crack addiction and a sex addiction. The other guy has a sex addiction, crack addiction also. Both ended up in rehab multiple times. Um, the girls died. Hunter Biden's into like kids and teenagers, and there's videos of him with his niece. I mean, the dude had a Pornhub account with this stuff, and like we can't get him
Right.
in jail, but the guy that took a selfie in the Capitol, is behind bars.
Oh, did you? Speaking of Pornhub, anybody's interested to know? Did you? That people started making a hashtag trafficking hub because they
Oh
let
yeah,
underage kids on there for some reason. They don't do anything about it, even though that's like
yeah,
their
because they don't
only
check if it's not
regulatory
that.
job is to make sure there's no kids on there. But anyway, it's like they guess what they did though? They deleted over half of their library because of that backlash.
Oh,
They had to delete half of their shit because people were saying they were trafficking people. It's like half their videos, not their subscribers, their videos.
Right.
There's a meme I saw. Some dude was on there and it's like had 15 million different videos. And then he another screenshot later, 2 million videos. So it's like, yeah, what the hell was on that other, 13 million?
Damn. Okay, so what a crazy world.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
don't
like,
forget Bill Gates. I don't want to talk about his divorce, but supposedly this one tech guy that was doing updates at his house was downloading child porn. It wasn't Bill Gates. We've been assured. He was also hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. And
yeah, the dude had been doing this for months, and he had no idea. Bill Gates had no idea. Yeah, right. That's like when someone says like someone for senator or congressman or whatever, like they don't know this, that, like, no, yes, you do. You know exactly what there are. Like you catch these politicians and everything and these child sex rings and all that, and they're like, oh, we had no idea he was into that. I'm like, bull. You are all spying on each other all the time. If there was somebody screwing kids and that wasn't okay, you know that somebody's going to tell other members of Congress or the Senate. They know. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them know who's a perv and who's not, who's a child rapist and who's not.
guys,
They just don't want to say anything.
Hollywood is all about pedophilia. I mean, we got directors like Dan Schneider from Nickelodeon requesting feet pics from girls, and like he got away with it.
Right.
But
Disney hires known child rapists and molesters.
Yeah.
They've been convicted and everything. They're on the list, but somehow they get working for Disney around children.
The guy from what was that thing? What was that movie? The Avengers, not the Avengers, but the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, the director for that.
He made so
talking
many
about
pedophilia jokes, and everybody defended him. Like, hey, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, and like against his own kid
He
too.
gives me a job.
Yeah, like he's like, would it be wrong if your kid is looking especially cute? Would it be wrong to have sex with them?
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's like, wow, dude, what the hell? Anyway,
decide what side, everybody, because
because you're fading.
Decide what side because the hour is late, and eventually you will have to make a choice because this is gonna be in your neighborhood. Everybody will be affected. Okay, there's about to be regional shortages of everything. The trucks are gonna stop moving. So get ready while you can. Get right with God too. Most important, because it is a spiritual battle. All right, everybody, side with side. Subscribe to Locals, Gavin, Rumble, Periscope, Twitter. See y'all next time.